One night only, one night only. From Dreamgirls. My heart be still my heart. Hello fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertanton.com, coming to you with your no frills, the voice commentary from a singer. And tonight the top 12 perform for a spot in the top 11. Yes, tomorrow night only one is going home, and it's anybody's game. Public voting is in full effect, and who knows who America is gonna vote for. I just can't figure it out, but we will find out soon. Tonight they sing songs with a story behind them, and we started out with TeamAdam. It was Rayshunn LaMarr. He did When Love Takes Over by David Guetta featuring Rowland, and he came out on the show tonight talking about his love, who he be thinking of during singing the song, and that little hum before the verse, and he launched into this with a little bit of nerves, but he had control by the time he started into the pre-chorus. His energy and positivity was radiating from the stage, and he also found several people to guide him through his stage pattern. You know, he would go here and he would go to that person, then he would look over here and then he would go to that person. See, that's all very nice, little stage direction, a way for you to have some kind of motion and motivation. I'm finna go sing to you. Hey, what's going on? I'm gonna come over there and sing a little bit to you. And then I'm gonna go and get into myself. And then I'm gonna come over there and say, hey, come over and sing to you. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to work that stage. His voice is so pure and he has a great command as he lights up the stage with a whoop and a wail to end the song. All the coaches stood for him. Alicia said there's something about him that is electric. And Carson announced the finale day is on May 21st and each finalist is singing an original song on the show. TeamKelly was up next with Kaleb. He did Amazed by Lonestar, and I love this song. And Kaleb dropped the guitar, donned a big white cowboy hat that covered most of his forehead, and emoted his way through these lyrics. It sounded really good in his voice with a nice light rasp, and he was pampering the words. He was trying to hold it together for that modulation, and I was expecting a key change that didn't happen, so that kind of disappointed me, but this was pretty darn good. TeamAlicia had Jackie Foster do Toxic by Britney Spears, and she had her own arrangement that her band had come up with a long time ago, and it was sexy as she came into it. She was squatting under like a platform and purring through those lyrics. I wasn't crazy about the dissonance when she first came out from under there, but we got back to the original feel and it was okay. I was waiting for her to bring on the big notes, but she was bringing the sexy, the sultry, seductress, and this was a little trippy also. It was fun and it was hot, but I was left wanting more. What about you? Let me know down in the comments. Kelly called it sexy and cool and a little punk and a little rock and roll. And if you think I'm a little punk and a little rock and roll, please make sure to thumb up the commentary and let me know that you are watching. It also lets me know that you are interested and that you hear what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate you watching. I appreciate your comments and I appreciate your thumbs. Next up we had TeamBlake. It was Spensha. She did Down on My Knees by Trisha Yearwood, and she has such a pretty and clear tone and didn't take long to give us a wonderful big note. She was really telling the story and emotionally invested, and this had a nice soul gospel bent to it with a lot of vibrato and kept that tone so forward, so heartfelt, very touching. All the coaches stood for her. Adam told her that she has it all: ability to sing beautifully on key, a soulfulness you can't teach, and with intent. Next, TeamAlicia had Christiana Danielle. She did Say Something by Great Big World, and they had a TP effect going with the lighting as she started way down in her range, showing off so much contralto notes. Really liked how she held those long notes and flipped into that strange affected voice in her upper range. This has a fierce emotion that just pulled me in, but the camera kind of messed it up now and then, cutting away just when she was really getting to me. You know, I was about getting that feeling. They would cut away to show this TP effect again. They was really in love with that. Okay, good nuanced vocal, showing off many colors in her vocal palette. Next up was TeamKelly with DR King. He did White Flag by Dido. Kelly wanted him to start out a cappella, but he had a pad synth sound behind him to start keeping him on key. Such a nice cry in his voice. Was liking the arrangement, giving me an old school R&B vibe with a hint of rock. It sounded really good in his voice. He has so many things he can do with his vocal that gives him layers and levels during this performance. Nice work. Then Blake said there's so many different sounds to his voice, pointing out a few. TeamAdam was the next with Sharane, Calister. She did In My Blood by Shawn, Mendes. I told y'all I love this song, and if you've been watching any of these videos or anything, you know that I also did a cover of it. It will be linked at the end of this video. Sharane started it out simply with a lot of red behind her. She brought in the emotion in the pre-chorus and sung this in her own style. I wasn't a fan of her giving into the light voice during rehearsal, but it worked very good on stage. And there were a few places where I felt she didn't make solid choices. She didn't map it out quite so well, but it was very effective when she went down on one knee to beg for help and then stood to wail out the big notes. Nicely floated and not overly bright, and she made this her own. Alicia talked about her power and sadness and beautiful resilience. TeamBlake's Pryor Baird was up next. He did Pickin' Wildflowers by Keith Anderson, and this started pretty sedate for Pryor, but had a lot of energy in that gruff vocal. He got a little lost at the end of the second half of the first verse, it seemed like, and seemed a bit perturbed, but jumped back into the chorus to redeem himself. For some reason, this made me think of Play That Funky Music, like when at some point when it was just voice and drum, it was very effective and he sounded intense. That shred note at the end to take it out was very cool, and all the coaches stood for him. The crowd was going wild, and Kelly told him that every time he sings, it reminds her of country bars. TeamKelly then had Brynn Cartelli do Up to the Mountain by Patty Griffin, and Kelly kept reiterating for her to focus on the story, and she seemed like she took the advice to heart. Such beautiful tone and easy, flexible vocals. She could probably riff throughout the song, but kept it in touch, gave us a simplicity and such pure big notes that sometimes just fell a little short of the pitch. She seems really much older than her age when she's performing. She just transforms, and it's great the way she can hit really big notes and then bring it down to very soft and intimate. All the coaches stood for her. Jackie Vernon was up next for TeamAdam. She did I'm With You by Avril Lavigne. And this had a little country swing as it started out with some guitar work going on, some really nice, strong guitar work going on. Jackie's voice really cut through all of the noise, all the background music, and she has such nice breaks in her voice. I really like her stage movement, so organic and yet so interesting. She really directs the notes when she's trying to get them up into that top, get them to sail, and some of the highest started out a bit pinched but quickly found their footing. She made this big song seem pretty darn easy and executed the highs and the lows well, then fell off that last note with emotion. Blake said he loved how direct she was with purpose and with what she's singing about. TeamAlicia's Britney Buchanan did Small Town by John Mellencamp, and he had the guitar up on the platform with a lot of steps to go down. It made me nervous. He was really telling his own story in this performance with such clarity and affection. He could have been in concert on this and traversed those stairs well as he went down there with the mic and the guitar, and I was just like, okay, wait a minute. He hit the stage to give us a long sustained note and get close to the fans in the mosh pit. It looked like he was shouting his way to the mic close to the coaches, and it made me feel so good that he seemed to really be enjoying himself. All the coaches stood for him. Kelly called him an amazing vocalist and the coolest person ever. She also said he's born to be on stage and to have that guitar in his hand. And in the pimp spot, we had TeamBlake's Kylie J doing One Night Only, One Night Only from Dreamgirls. Let me point that out. From Dreamgirls, Jennifer Hudson, yes, did it. Jennifer Holliday was the original. This is from my favorite stage show, and I've heard dozens of divas singing on stage. Kylie started it off perfectly with so much tenderness, taking her time and hinting at the power to come. First time she hit the chorus and held that note, I got chills. Loved the little jazzy riff she threw in, and that high note had the coaches on their feet, and I was making the stank face. This was masterful and not overdone. She gave it arc and didn't stay up in the heights for too long. Just perfection, I wrote. Whew. Well, that's it for the commentary tonight. Tomorrow night, one is going home, just one. I'm sure the two will be singing for the Twitter save. Let me know who were your favorites down in the comments. Also, let me know who do you think is going to be singing for the Twitter save. This is Robert Anton, robertanton.com. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your comments, and thank you once again for your thumbs. I'm out.